all cats old enough to catch their own prey, gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jillian, joined by my co-host and peak Big Pants Scout, and today we will be discussing Omen of the Stars, Book 3, Night Whispers. Hello, Scout.
Hello, I got my big pants on and I'm ready to fucking party.
Hell yeah.
What exactly was the screenshot that I said? What was that? It was an article?
I think it was an article headline that said, "Have we reached peak big pants?"
That's right. Yeah, it was. We were talking about this on a call the other day with some friends. I am peak big pants. I'm in my big pants era. It's true. I'm all about them big pants right now.
It was under thought-provoking stories too.
That was the thing that was the funniest part. Thought-provoking stories. Have we reached peak big pants? There wasn't enough big pants in the article. That was my, saying that was the worst part. It got me. It clickbaited me. I thought there would be big pants, and then there really wasn't.
And then there were no big pants.
How have you been?
What I've been wearing pants-wise lately has been, I found at Target. This is not an ad. This is not sponsored by Target. Just sharing a nice little find that I found. Target had sweatpants shorts.
Ooh, hell yeah.
I'm someone who has a lot of difficulty. We were talking before the podcast about this. I have a lot of difficulty regulating my body temperature. So I found these sweatpants shorts where it's made with sweatpant fabric, but it is shorts, which is perfect for me because it keeps me warm, but it also doesn't constrict my legs and I can not overheat.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend.
That sounds great. I would love to get myself some of those.
Yeah, definitely recommend. And they are big pants. They kind of not flare out, but they're not tight shorts.
Right, they're not fitted.
Mm-hmm. They're very loungy shorts, which is nice.
Hell yeah, we love to be in our athleisure era.
Bro, I just love lounging. I'm in my lounging era.
Sometimes you just gotta fucking lounge.
Cats have it right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that's what my cat does all day is lounge.
That's what they do. And that's what we're here to talk about today is cats.
Hell yeah. But before we talk about cats, let's talk about how the prey is running.
Yeah. How is the prey running with you? What have you been eating lately?
Today I had brisket chili.
Ooh.
From a barbecue place.
Wow. That sounds good.
It was very good. It was spicy though. It was a lot spicier than I anticipated.
I'm unfortunately too weak for spicy food.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of jalapeno in it. A lot of jalapeno.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it was really good. Nice big chunks of brisket in there. Lots of beans. It was a little thicker than I usually like my chilies. I usually like at least a little bit of, I don't want to call it broth because it's not really broth.
But a little bit of a sauciness, yeah.
Yeah, I like there to be a little bit more of a sauciness. This was just what's the best way to describe it without making it sound disgusting? I mean, it was just meat and beans all
not really a lot of the gravy or
there was
sauciness.
Not a lot of gravy.
Yeah.
It was just meat. Lots of just shredded meat.
Mm-hmm.
It was good though. Put some cheddar and sour cream on there.
Hell yeah.
We also had Thanksgiving since the last time we recorded.
Oh shit, that's right. That did happen.
Yeah. We had a pretty classic Thanksgiving meal. Turkey, green bean casserole, stuffing. My aunt calls it dressing.
Stuffing. Mm-hmm.
Mashed potatoes, homemade gravy, pecan pie. And I got leftovers this year. Woo-hoo!
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Stuffing versus dressing, as I understand it, they say, they being, I don't know where I heard this, but the thing I've heard is the woke thems.
The woke they. The woke mob. The liberal mob.
The liberal mob tells me that if it's inside of if it's cooked inside of the turkey, then it's called stuffing. But if you're making it as a side dish, that's when you call it dressing.
Here's the thing,
even if it's the same thing, but it's not a dressing.
Who the fuck puts it in the turkey?
I think it used to be like that's how it originated as the thing that was in the turkey. Some people do make stuffing inside of the turkey.
I've never.
I don't know.
So here's the thing. I don't trust putting it in the turkey.
I know. I also don't trust putting it in the turkey. I feel
like it's not going to cook properly and you're going to get like the salmonella in there.
This is, I believe, one of the reasons that it migrated outside of the turkey.
That makes so much, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a whole, like, based on what I know, like most people put like, at least for like when I've cooked a turkey or when like my family has cooked a turkey, that's where we stick like the halved onion and the carrots and celery and stuff to like
the
give it a little extra flavor.
Yeah, I don't know. My family has not cooked a turkey in a hot sec because a lot of times lately, just because travel is expensive and most of my family is scattered to the winds, it's just been me and my parents. And it's like none of us are that huge. None of the three of us like turkey enough for us to be like, let's make a turkey.
Yeah.
We've done turkey meatballs. Sometimes we just do a chicken. One time we did like a standing rib roast instead. You know, just went a little crazy.
I like that.
It was very good.
Yeah. I mean, usually when it was just me and Eric, like before we moved here and were therefore invited to my aunt's house, we would never cook a full turkey. We'd just do like a small turkey breast.
Yeah.
And then use the leftovers for like the next 4 days.
That's how it is.
That's how it is. That's how it goes. But yeah, so had some good food.
Hell yeah.
We have some follow-ups this week.
We do have a couple of follow-ups.
Do we want to start with the inappropriate one?
I'll start with mine because it's still food related, and then we'll
and then we'll transfer to the other thing that you can eat.
Last time I talked about pecan pie cookies that sounded really good. Briefly, in the same segment, I brought up that my dearest mother has been getting bamboozled by Facebook's penchant for like AI images and AI recipes. Sadly, I never laid direct eyes on reading the pecan pie cookie recipe, but we do believe it was an erroneous, untested recipe, probably AI generated, or if not AI generated, just something somebody wrote down that did not actually ever make it. It didn't work very well. So now I must continue my hunt. I have to look for a real pecan pie cookie recipe. What it made tasted good, but it tasted good because all of the ingredients that you would put in a pecan pie cookie are good. It did not do the thing it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Once again, on my hands and knees, begging people to stop doing this. Because it's so lame. Why do you do this? Wait, just for engagement?
Why are you doing this? There's plenty of bad recipes already out there on the internet.
Yeah,
we don't need more of them.
It's the new. I guess it's just another version of the fucking life hacks videos. But I don't know, man. I don't like it. Just show me real recipes. You can find something else to farm advertisement revenue off of. Okay, come on, don't come for the cookies.
Yeah, just let us have our cookies, man.
Let us have our cookies. All right, that's my follow up. Now, we also spoke of another thing that you wanted to follow up on.
Well, I forgot that I was supposed to follow up on it. My dear co-host Scout here, very kindly reminded me, you need to follow up on this in the next recording.
A loaded kindly.
So Dick Fight Island. I did read the first volume. It was fun. Like, it was really fun. It was very silly.
So silly.
You really have to just, like, accept that this is, like, You have to accept the world building at face value.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a surprising amount of it. And
I also read it, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm laughing. I'm fucking dude.
Here's the thing, like, I wish it had been longer. Is the thing, like, I know there's a second volume, but I wish what was in the first volume had been longer because it felt very fast paced, and like
it was fast paced. It was action packed.
Yeah, but yes. So here is my. Not my review, but I will say, I don't want to call it erotica, because it wasn't really, like, necessarily, I mean, yes, there is sexual content, but I don't feel like the way the sex is presented is not, it does not feel like it is done in a way to titillate the audience.
You know, that's fair.
I feel like the way the sex is done is, honestly, it's kind of a commentary on, like, the homoeroticism of warfare and men fighting, like, in general. Because it is about men fighting for power by seeing who can stay hard the longest without experiencing a climax. I don't know why I'm using fucking, like, YouTube get around the algorithm speak. It's about who can, like, make the other guy come first. We're an 18 plus podcast. Like, I know we technically have people under 18 who listen to this. Just pretend that. Just ignore this bit. I know you're gonna listen to it anyway, so, like, I can't stop you, but you shouldn't be listening to this. Yeah, so it's very ostentatious, I feel like, because they have these just absolutely massive coverings for their dicks. And that's,
dude,
like...
the dick armor is so much.
That's, like, the whole thing, is they're trying to, like, shield their manhood in grandiosity in order to prevent some other man from being more manly than him. Very fascinating stuff. Wish it were a little bit more... I would have liked to see the romance between the main character and his love interest kind of not be as much of just flashbacks and actually get to see, like, more of their romance together.
That is what a lot of the second volume is actually about. It's a prequel.
Oh, is it really? Okay, well, I'll have to go get that second volume then. But yeah, I mean, I think if you are someone who does not mind seeing two men roll around on the ground trying to stick their fingers up each other's asses and make them come, like, I think it's a fun read. I don't think it's necessarily something that, like, I would read to get horny. I think it's just a fun read.
Yeah.
I feel like sorry. Scout's having like a full, like, beet red face journey over here as I'm trying to explain, like, why I would recommend it to someone because I don't think it's porn. Like,
I just love hearing you trying to make the pitch. It's really good.
So, like, here's the thing too, is, like, when I got it, people have been saying, like, or, like, when I had asked about it before, people were like, oh yeah, it's, like, actually surprisingly really good. And I'm like, I wouldn't say really good, but I would say really fun. Like, I didn't expect it to be as fun. And, like, I read it all in one sitting. So, like,
yeah,
there you go.
I kind of feel like it is also, you know, you talked about commentary on, like, inherent homoeroticism and something like warfare. And I think
masculinity
it's also
kind of seeps into warfare. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also saying something about like the sports genre of, like, anime and manga a little bit too, where it's playing in sort of a farce of that, but in a fun way with a lot of special moves, I suppose. Something that's very consistent in the shonen genre.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so silly.
It's silly. It's fun. I recommend it. I would recommend it. I don't think it was a waste of my time to read, which is more than I can say for some of these books we've read before.
There you go. That's true.
I believe we have a couple other things of some news to go into so we can have me stop talking about penises. Would you like to talk about the newsflash?
Yeah, I have a wonderful newsflash for us today, which is that our beautiful... Thank you to the TWG Podcast Network for having us on, where we get to talk about all of our silly things, and sometimes the community that surrounds that network does wonderful, fun, creative projects, such as something coming up, the Worst Garbage Game Jam. This is going to be taking place between January 10th and January 19th of 2025. And if you've never heard of what a game jam is before, it is essentially people coming together and collaborating or making on their own games of all shapes and sizes. It could be video games. It could be something like a twine game. It could be a tabletop game. It could be things like that, like playing in that genre. This is also going to be very focused on stuff like just creating in general. So maybe you just want to create some artwork, do some concept art, make a little bit of music, like video game music, something like that. And this is run by some of the lovely folks in the Worst Garbage Discord server, which has always been a lovely, fun place for creative folks and fans alike. And so if you have any of those skills and would be interested in participating, check it out. The theme has not yet been selected, but it is going to be selected from a pool of themes that were submitted by participants and by users on the server. So give it a look.
Join in. I've been wanting to dabble in the fake video game space ever since I watched earlier this year a video essay about fake video games.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think it would be fun to pop myself in, and it's going to be, even if I just make something small, I think it'll be fun.
Hell yeah. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just it's about the act of creating in a space with others. And we love that here.
Hell yeah.
And speaking of games, we got a new Clan Gen update.
Fucking stoked. Loving it. Having fun.
Yeah. I've been having a good time. I've got a new clan going. They've added some great new features. They've added pronouns.
They already had pronouns, but they've added more pronouns.
True. They've added, previously everything was they, them pronouns, and now there can be any form of pronouns you want. You can import your own pronouns if you want. And the programmers did a really good job. It took a lot for them to go and work through all of the various text in the game to make it pronoun malleable. Yeah, so shout out to the writers and to the folks that work on this. They just do it for fun and for us, and I love it. And I also love the feature that they added where you can specifically try and recruit like loners or outsiders from the clans.
Oh my god, that's my favorite thing, because you know what happened in one of my runs is one of my clan cats got taken by two legs.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do on the outsiders screen is they are on that screen, and you can specifically say search for. Like, you can have the clan search for them to bring them back instead of just leaving it up to chance.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's great.
I also love it because it lets me, sometimes the game generates like the fucking coolest looking outside clan cats. And previously I've always been like, that cat, aesthetically, I want it in my clan.
Yeah.
And I cannot get it. But now I can do it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I am excited because they said they want to add more music. They've added a little bit of sound to it now. There's like a nice little...
they've got a little sound design. There's a little bit of...
a nice little clicky noise whenever you click a button.
Yeah, I like the save noise.
But yeah, it's been really good. There's like symbols now that you can use for your clan, like the like canonical, like ThunderClan ones where they've got the little cat head and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of quality of life things. And then the clan focus, I really enjoy being able to interact more specifically regarding the other clans. Like, you can choose if you want to start, like, getting into beef with another clan, or if you want to, like, start trying to make allies. Super cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, really enjoying it. Excited for what's to come. As always, let's talk about some covers.
Yeah. Just a couple this time. First of all, wanted to give a shout out to the original Wayne McLaughlin cover. Again, not huge on the portraits for this arc, but I do really like the paintings in the background. This one is a take on the dark forest. I enjoy how gloomy it is and how it kind of highlights the way that they've always described the light in the dark forest is that it comes from, it's like a sickly white-green light that comes from fungus that's like bioluminescent. And I think that this image really captures that well. And you can also see a little bit of the gross, slimy river that they talk about in this book.
Yeah, it's nasty.
The river in the dark forest is so nasty. So there's that one. And of course, Poland at it again. I especially really like the portrait on this Polish cover, which is Flametail with an herb in his mouth. Maybe catnip? I don't remember what catnip flowers look like, but I don't think this is catnip. But it's just like a cool looking herb. And it's all frosty, and like his nose is frosty. We're deep in winter now in this arc. It is cold. So Flametail looks so cool here. And then, of course, we have this representation of the exciting event that happens on the ice on the frozen lake in the very back half of this book. And it's really cool to see the cats sort of reacting on the ice. There's the broken spot.
You can see J-Feather in the back. Like,
you can see J-Feather running. He's coming from the back cover onto the front cover, which is
so
so good. It's great.
Yeah. Wow.
And then we have, I'm always floored by the Polish covers. Like, the storytelling that they do on them is excellent.
Yeah, they're incredible.
And then the traditional Chinese cover goes pretty hard, even if Flametail does look like a little baby. He's so small. He's just a little baby.
I mean, he is,
but it's sort of
pretty young.
He's pretty young. He's the same age as Tigerheart. They're both
fairly young. Like
a year and a half, probably. Year and a half. So here we've got J-Feather diving into the water to try and save Flametail. And I just really like the colors here. I like the action of J-Feather trying to grab Flametail and get him. Tragic story with Flametail in this book.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up these flowers.
This is all we have to know.
Oh, it's borage.
The symbolism. Oh, it's borage.
Yeah.
Oh, it is borage. Wow, borage flowers are really pretty.
They're also called star flowers.
Interesting. We know a cat named Starflower.
We sure do. Was the starflower actually borage all along? Am I going to have to go back and see if they ever mentioned borage before the starflower?
Oh, fuck. With the starflower? Oh, the starflower was... Oh, shit. What do they say that borage does in...
Borage is helped for producing milk, bringing down fevers, soothing bad bellies, and relieving tight chests.
That does sound like it could be...
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you, Warriors Wiki, for coming in clutch. Let's see. It does say, in Mothlight's vision, Cloudspots tells Micah and Mothlight about borage, and they gather some for milkweed so she has enough milk for her newborns.
Okay, so it probably is... legally distinct from Starflower.
But no, that is an interesting thing. They're also a member of the Forget-Me-Not family, which I think is interesting considering the end of this book.
That makes sense because I was thinking that it looked a lot like a Forget-Me-Not.
I love how much Warriors is making me learn about plants. Thank you, Warriors. Sorry for that diversion.
No, it's good divergence. The only other cover thing I had to say of note was just that I've recently been doing a little bit of Japanese self-study to just continue the Fujoshi era to its fullest. So the Japanese cover for this book wasn't anything special, but I could sound out all of the text on there and put it together and read what it said. Of course, I know the name of the book in English, but I was very excited when I could read and identify all of the sounds that made up the name of the book in Japanese. That made me happy. So, guys, study something. You know, it's fun. Turns out
studying is fun. Actually, there is a real world equivalent to the Blazing Star. It is literally called the Smooth Stem Blazing Star, which is 2 warrior cat names in one.
It is.
That's fun. Anyway, sorry about that diversion. I'm really excited for your Japanese learning journey. It's very cool.
Thank you. I love just like being able to look at Japanese text and go like, I can identify that sound.
I know some of these words.
I'm like a baby. I'm a baby right now. I'm a baby and I'm like goo goo gaga. I'm having a great time. I always feel like self-conscious about trying to learn something on my own, but also equally self-conscious about trying to seek out some sort of class. But I decided to stop being self-conscious and just use the internet to the fullest extent that I can and have fun. And if I decide that I want to take a class at some point, I can do that too. But it's just all fun, you know? There's doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be a fun little thing that I do. Now I can read hiragana. I'm almost done memorizing katakana. Katakana's harder for me to memorize just because a lot of the symbols are a lot closer to each other. Yeah. Just barely brushing the surface of kanji and sentence structure. But, you know, we just take it one little step at a time.
It's very
gamers.
difficult. I'm super proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Fun.
And that's what really matters.
This has been, that's the most important thing. We've had a very long preamble this time.
We've been yapping.
So we should get into the summary. We've been yapping. It's yap o'clock over here.
God, Lee, it's almost 9 o'clock. I cannot believe we've been almost at this for an hour. AJ, you're going to have to cut some stuff. AJ, please save us from ourselves. Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
In StarClan, Yellowfang is confronted by Fernshade and Sage Whisker, who believe she should have been able to stop the battle between ShadowClan and ThunderClan. Cats of all clans arrive discussing the threat the Dark Forest poses, and how they must prepare for a fight. Meanwhile, in the world of the living, Jayfeather and Lionblaze discuss the battle against ShadowClan and eventually the looming threat from the Dark Forest, agreeing to keep an eye out for danger. When Jayfeather is next able to rest, he discovers the dark truth that Ivypaw has been training with cats of the Dark Forest. He and Lionblaze later discuss this information, wanting to let Ivypaw continue her training in order to try and learn what the Dark Forest is plotting. Lionblaze and Cinderheart continue to bond, with the she-cat worrying over him after the violence of the battle against ShadowClan. They coyly dance around their feelings as they do their patrol, switching to the ShadowClan border after Lionblaze's memories of the tunnels resurface. While there, they run into Flametail, one of ShadowClan's medicine cats, who calls Lionblaze a murderer for his part in the death of Russitfur. Dovepaw finds out that Lionblaze and Jayfeather are discussing Ivypaw, and tries to listen in, only to be followed by her sister. As she learns of the truth behind Ivypaw's dreams, she confronts her sister, telling her how wrong this path is. Ivypaw claims that Dovepaw is merely jealous and that she's done nothing wrong, causing a rift between the two. In ShadowClan, Flametail worries over the state of his clan and the health of his mentor, Little Cloud, who is very ill. Blackstar asks the medicine cats if there's been a sign regarding the battle with ThunderClan, or if there's any guidance from their ancestors about the recent struggles, and asks them to speak with StarClan. Flametail goes to the moon pool, and the ancestors of ShadowClan warn him that his clan must stand alone in the times to come. When Flametail makes his report, Little Cloud refuses to believe their ancestors would say such a thing, and Flametail is furious at his mentor for continuing to hold friendships with cats of other clans. Jayfeather has a vision from Spotted Leaf of Ivypaw leading an army of shadowed cats to attack ThunderClan, leaving the young apprentice as the only one standing. In Ivypaw's dreams, she runs into Mapleshade, who teases the apprentice. Ivypaw notices that the she-cat is slowly fading away, and Hawkfrost tells her that all cats will fade eventually. She continues to head to the training, where cats from all the clans participate in exercises under Hawkfrost's guidance. All medicine cats receive similar messages from their ancestors as Flametail did, further dividing the clans. Dovepaw sneaks out at night to meet with Tigerheart, their romance blossoming as her rift with her sister grows wider. Lionblaze confesses his feelings to Cinderheart, and also the secret of his power. She does not take it well, and the two have a falling out. Ivypaw reveals to Dovepaw that Tigerheart is also training in the Dark Forest, and Dovepaw is devastated at the betrayal. While the three argue, a ShadowClan patrol shows up. Dovepaw hides, and Ivypaw is taken to ShadowClan as a prisoner. Dovepaw pretends she doesn't know what happened, but when ThunderClan learns she's a prisoner, they try to get her back. ShadowClan agrees to return the wayward apprentice, but only in exchange for some of Jayfeather's catnip supply, which he's been worried over as herbs are becoming depleted. Dovepaw feels guilty over the situation as she revealed the catnip's existence to Tigerheart, because she thought that was the reason for ShadowClan wanting more territory and therefore the battle arising between the two clans. With Ivypaw returned to ThunderClan and finally realizing the evil of the Dark Forest, she reluctantly agrees to become a spy on the dead cats and report on their activities to the three. Meanwhile, in ShadowClan, Flametail is plagued by visions of darkness and water. As the winter continues and the lake begins to freeze, he makes his way down to see a few apprentices playing games on the ice. He joins in, only to fall through the ice. Jayfeather leaps into the water to save him, but Rock's spirit appears to tell Jayfeather that it is Flametail's time to die, not Jayfeather's, forcing him to let go of the other medicine cat, who drowns. After Flametail's death, Ivypaw faces a test of loyalty in the Dark Forest. Broken Star tells her that a cat's soul will be gone forever if they are forgotten, or if the dead cat's soul is dealt a lethal blow. As her test, she is to kill Flametail, who's confused about his location after his death. Ivypaw panics but resolves to kill him in order to not arouse suspicion. She apologizes in her mind, about to leap, but Tigerheart stops the attack just in time. And Tiger Star appears to reassure Broken Star that Flametail is no threat, and that Ivypaw will stand beside the Dark Forest when the time comes.
Da-na-na-na.
So fucking much happened in this book. I had to cut stuff out of this summary.
Yeah, this was a dense one. I read this pretty spread out, pretty far apart. I read it in a lot of little pieces across the last couple of weeks. So when I finished it today and then went back and looked at what happened at the beginning of the book, I was like, wait, that happened in this book? We've been here this whole time?
The whole time?
The whole time? Overall thoughts on this one. I enjoyed my time with this book. I think that it is spread across a lot of different perspectives, and I think that is fun, but also does make it harder to summarize. Because there's so much. They're really pumping you full of information from every angle with this one.
There was a lot happening. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the plot that is the the plot points that are introduced and continued upon in this book, I just think are very fun. I loved particularly like getting to see another clan, even for just, you know, a brief, like one book. Getting to see the perspective of another clan was so fun. I loved
really
seeing his visions and shit. That was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Flametail being added as a perspective character in this book is really like a great choice. They made a wonderful choice with that.
Especially for it to be like he dies at the end of this book. I just think it was a really fun.
And it kind of sneaks up on you. Like I think it's so great to sort of introduce that perspective, and you think, oh, well, last time they introduced Ivy Paws' perspective, so this will probably be a perspective that will persist the way Ivy Paws has. But no, he's out. Not that he, of course, cats and even more so as we go forward than previously. When cats die in this series, they are not gone from the narrative.
Right, clearly, because we got somebody coming back this week.
Yeah.
My girl!
Woo!
I really, really enjoyed. I had a good time. And this is the first one that I like fully know that I have not read any of it. So
yeah, I wanted to ask you how it feels.
It feels really fun. I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying, like, obviously I still know like random facts because of the way that like I exist as an individual on the internet. But it's really fun to like not know the little things that are going on. So I feel like I really appreciate these little things.
Hell yeah. That's so fun. I'm so excited about that.
But yeah, let's talk the book.
Yeah. The first note I have down here is just more. They really once again come for Yellowfang about Broken Star in the prologue. Like I really just need everybody in these books to stop blaming medicine cats for having kits. It's so bad. It's so bad every time. It's always bad that everybody shows their whole ass when it comes to this particular topic. And we talked about that a little bit last time as well, but it's
wild that Fernshade is one of the ones who's like ragging on her, because Fernshade didn't know her dad. And then Sage Whisker was
Yellowfang's mentor.
Okay.
So I expect this, honestly, from Sage Whisker, because Sage Whisker was not very sympathetic to Yellowfang. Yeah, Fernshade. Why was Fernshade even here? Like, I barely even remember who she was.
Yeah, exactly. I had to look her up. She's not even related to Russet Fur. Oh, her kid was Badgerfang.
Oh.
Okay, maybe that makes sense. Oh, her brother is Black Star.
Him.
Shit. Okay.
Now all of this makes it more interesting.
Exactly.
This is why sometimes it's hard when there's so many cats.
But yeah, interesting. So she is Black Star's sister. So I guess that makes a little bit more sense for her to be here. But yeah, fucking wild. Just the fucking Star Clan is driving me crazy in this book. I'm telling you what.
Oh my god, I tell you fucking what, dude.
Like, why are we being so fucking catty?
Here's the thing that really makes me go a little bit bananas. We've got this whole thing in this book about that Star Clan is divided. Like, we are separating into our individual clans. We don't trust each other anymore. We don't want the clans around the lake to trust each other. And, like, the thing that supposedly is the catalyst for this is this fight between Firestar and ThunderClan and Blackstar and ShadowClan from the last book. And it's like, so you're telling me that StarClan remained united as one, while, like, Broken Star was out there killing children straight up, murdering children, while Tiger Star was slaughtering cats with dogs as the weapon and like trying to do ethnic cleansing. But like one kind of bad battle call from this very minor infraction is suddenly the thing that, like, is the last straw? What's happening?
Well, and, like, the way they're also, like, we have to stand alone in the battles to come. You fucking know that the Dark Forest is plotting some shit. How the fuck do you think they're supposed to, like, win if they're standing alone? You're dumb as hell.
Literally, standing alone has never been the answer. It has never been the answer in the history of these books, in the history, I think, of civilization, like, broadly.
Absolutely absurd.
Don't stand alone. Don't fucking stand alone. What are you talking about, guys? How can one group of dead cats be so stupid?
I wish I knew. Dumb as hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they pissed me off.
Atrocious.
But then we immediately get Sorreltail and Brackenfur being adorable. So I can forgive.
I love that so much. We don't get that much Sorreltail and Brackenfur as a couple or just like as characters. They're much more in the background here than they have been in previous arcs, I would say, which makes sense because they are like one generation separated from Dovepaw and Ivypaw now, and so like they're not as peers in the same way.
They're senior warriors,
but they're senior warriors, but I miss them.
The cute moment that we're referring to specifically is Jay Feather like talking to Sorreltail, and he's kind of snippy with her, and he's like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. Do you want some poppy seeds to help you sleep?" And she's like, "No thanks. Brackenfur's snoring lulls me to sleep better than anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, wow, real married energy."
They're so cute. They're so married. I would die for them. I love them so much. That was a delight.
Oh my God. Okay, so you pulled a great quote.
This is a moment. The best thing about this is I was reading this book on my Kindle, and I had previously also read this book on my Kindle, and so when I got to this page, I found that this had already been highlighted. So Past Scout was also mad about this. Flametail blinked at Lion Blaze, ignoring Cinderheart. "Once I thought we were kin," he spat. "Now I'm glad we're not. I would hate to share blood with a murderer." As a reminder for everybody, can anybody in the audience, does anybody know who Flametail's grandpa is?
I'll give you a hint. His brother is named after his grandfather.
Tiger Star? Killer of men? Tiger Star?
Well, okay, but we also do get some wild shit of Ivypaw being a Tiger Star apologist in this book.
Why is everybody defending him?
She's like, why the fuck does everybody hate Tiger Star? Like, he told me that he has always been loyal to ThunderClan, and he just wanted the best for ThunderClan. Dovepaw's over here like, he tried to kill our he tried to kill our grandpa.
He tried to kill Grandpa. He tried to kill Grandpa multiple times.
Yeah.
He succeeded in killing many cats.
Yeah, and Dovepaw's like, are we talking about the same Tiger Star?
Dude? Are you?
That shit was that cracked me up. Like Flametail is in his fucking. I don't know what what is going on with this poor boy, but he is
going through it. Yeah. So that whole thing with him being like so vitriolic towards Lion Blaze about Russet Fur's death, and that line is just so much coming from somebody whose grandfather was doing cat genocide. Like, guys.
Yeah.
Guys,
please. Yeah. Woof.
Crazy.
That's rough.
Fun little thing I noticed. There was a page where Ivypaw's eyes were called green, and then I counted the number of words between these two sentences. Literally 27 words after her eyes were called green, God. They were called blue.
Well,
love to be consistently inconsistent on something like this. Maybe this means that Ivypaw also has heterochromia. I've always headcanoned that Dovepaw has heterochromia, has one green eye, one blue eye.
I don't think you're alone in that.
I think that's a popular one, but maybe I should be doing that for Ivypaw too,
They both have heterophobia. I fully, like, the biggest smile came on my face when Mapleshade showed up.
When Mapleshade showed up, I was like, Mapleshade!
He was like, that's my girl!
And I think that this is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is the first time she is appearing in the main series outside of, like, one of the super editions or a novella.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
and
I love that for her.
When was this book published?
2010. Late 2010?
Okay, so Mapleshade's Vengeance came out in 2015.
Wow.
So was this Mapleshade's first appearance?
When did Crooked Star come out? Crooked Star's Promise. Crooked Star's Promise was 2011. So yeah, I think that this might have been her first written appearance as well. Because Goosefeather came out after, right? Yeah,
Goosefeather was 2015.
Welcome to We Read Dates. This is one of our favorite. This is their new section. Sub.
It's not a new section. And then she was in Tiger Claw's Fury, which was 2014. So yeah, I think her first canon appearance was
I feel as though she was introduced kind of just as like a character in the background here, and
to be kind of spooky.
And then I don't know if it was the Erins or if it was the fans or if it was a mixture of both, but somebody latched onto her really strongly at some point, and that's how she ended up becoming such like a pivotal, tertiary, ancillary antagonist. And I'm happy for it, Queen.
I'm so happy.
I was so happy to see her.
Good shit.
She's on her shit in this book.
She really is.
She tries to kill Ivy Paw straight up, just for fun.
Just for fun. Just for the heck of it. I want to talk really briefly about the romance in this book.
Yes,
because there's some romance happening.
There is.
So first I want to talk about Lion Blaze and Cinderheart.
Okay.
I was like, if we remember last time, I was like, I am fully on board with this. Most of this book, I am still like, yes, I think they're very cute. There's a scene early on where Lion Blaze is like thinking about the night they spent together. And he's like, it says his thoughts drifted back to the previous night. Cinderheart's pelt had shone in the moonlight, and the stars had glittered as though the sky were as frosted as the hills. Then we are more than friends? He had whispered into Cinderheart's ear. She'd pressed her cheek to his. Hadn't you guessed? I'd hoped. Fucking adorable. I just think they're so cute. And then Lion Blaze takes the biggest L of his life. The way he and Jay Feather have been so, you cannot tell anyone about your powers, like it's only going to cause problems, etc., etc. And then he's like, no, I know how to reassure Cinderheart. I'm going to tell her that I have superpowers.
It does not.
That always works.
Dear reader, it does not go well.
It does not go very well. She is like, at first she doesn't believe him, obviously. And then she's like, I can't do this. And she's like,
you've got way too much main character energy for me. I'm like literally not on the same level as you.
I don't know that I'm reincarnated. I can't deal with this. So yes, they are broken up, which is sad.
There will be more to that story as we go forward.
Yeah, I'm sure that, I mean, you know what though? Good for Cinderheart for keeping his secret.
Cinderheart continues to be goated.
She's too good for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly.
So way too good for him.
Yeah. And then we have the cutest fucking, I swear to God, this may be the cutest romance.
I think this is probably my favorite written romance in the series that we've gotten to date.
I am in love with them. I think they are the cutest fucking pairing. We are talking about Dovepaw and Tigerheart. They are so cute. It drives me
I am just
bonkers.
So enchanted with how earnestly devoted to Dovepaw Tigerheart is.
He is such a fucking simp for her, and it is so cute.
There's a really I think the thing that makes their romance work so well is how it is tied really deeply into all of the weird interpersonal shit that is happening between like Tiger Star and Ivy Paw being in the Dark Forest and training in the Dark Forest together, and Dove Paw and Ivy Paw being siblings.
Oh my god, the way Dove Paw is like, "Are you seeing my sister?" And he's like, "No." Like, I'm not interested in your sister.
It's so good. And the way it's like, I'm not interested in your sister, but I can't tell you exactly why like
I know her.
I know her the way that I know her. And the way that it's like woven in where like Ivy Paw knows this thing about Tigerheart, and Dove Paw is getting mad at Ivy Paw for being in the Dark Forest, and so then Ivy Paw has like the way it gets so messy in like such a fun, real way when Ivy Paw is like, "Well, do you know that your boyfriend is also in hell training with Tiger Star?
I bet you didn't.
I bet you didn't know that about him. I know something about him that you don't know." Like it's such
so
like
petty. I love it,
and it's just so good. So all of that being tied in, and then we have like a really like genuinely, Duffpaw gets really upset with Tigerheart in this story because he ends up like putting his clan, sort of betraying her trust in him by telling his clan about Jay Feather's herb garden, which once again, agriculture is here. And
it is still important. It is still important.
It is facilitating resource scarcity and ransom in this book. We love the garden.
We love the development of civilization.
Cats to develop civilization.
Hostage negotiations for herbs is like top 5 warrior cats moments for sure for me now. But yeah, she's so upset because she told him that, and he went and turned that against her, and she's like, and it makes her feel so guilty because Sandstorm is sick, and Sandstorm needs the herbs too.
I know, Sandstorm's also sick, but it is a thing where it's like, Tigerheart, Little Cloud was going to die, so I don't think that Tigerheart is completely like out of pocket for doing that either, and this is such a good example and like such a well-written, nuanced look at what, like, this is what, when we've seen like the cross territories forbidden romance plots in previous books, a lot of times they don't have this kind of depth because either we're getting them not from a point of view character perspective with something like Graystripe and Silverstream, or we are getting it like with Blue Star and Oakheart, where it was just like very thinly drawn and didn't really have the depth that we would have liked. And I feel like we're getting the depth here, even if like there's not really that many scenes of it and we're not seeing it all that much. I feel like it's really getting to like the things that we think are interesting on this podcast about the idea of like, what does it mean to be in love with somebody who is in a different clan than you when you're a clan cat? And like, how do those things crisscross when it comes to loyalty and stuff, and like how messy that can be and how it can be hurtful even when both sides, I think both of them are justified in their actions, and that makes it all the more like interesting and all of the more heart-wrenching, I think, for them to be kind of like on the rocks at this point.
And honestly, God, they're just when they aren't fighting or like when they're not having this falling out, they are just so like sweetly romantic.
It's so like
with each other.
The scene where Dovepaw is like being a goofy, silly girl because she's trying to like, I just want, our conversation is getting intense and like getting deeper, and I can sense that that's happening, and like we're approaching a precipice, and I want to just stay in like this very pure and innocent place of just getting to hang out with Tigerheart.
I love them. So yes, adorable. 100% definitely one of my favorite romances that I've seen in this series. I did get a little pissed at Yellowfang because she, not only does Flametail get the Shadow Clan has to stand alone, fucking Yellowfang is over here like ThunderClan has to stand alone. And Jay Feather's like, that doesn't fucking make any sense. And Yellowfang just acts so weird about like telling him that because the three have, like, such great powers, ThunderClan needs to be the one to benefit from them. And, like, it just really shows, in my opinion, like, more of how StarClan just doesn't fucking know how to handle the three at all. They are just, like, they've got no clue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know, she just really pissed me off, but I thought the scene after she kind of tells him that and he sees that Willowshine and Kestrel Flight are getting the same messages. There's this really cool scene where Jay Feather is yelling at Yellowfang. They're fighting each other. He's trying to warn them. And then, here's the quote from the book. Crackling silenced him. Ice splintered behind him, echoing around the walls of the hollow. Jay Feather turned, and his vision was flooded with starlight. The moon pool was freezing over, ice spreading like fire through grass, reaching over the water until the whole pool was white. Jay Feather stared around the hollow. Hope flared in his chest. Cats of StarClan lined the glittering walls. The ranks of star-pelted warriors sat silent and still. Jay Feather looked more closely. Was that Rock among them? Jay Feather recognized the ancient hairless cat with a surge of joy. Had he come to help StarClan? Perhaps he'd changed their minds. Perhaps the cats of StarClan were going to face the dark forest together after all? As he watched, pleading silently for some sort of sign, he saw the hollow start to whiten. One after another, the StarClan warriors turned to ice, their fur glistening, their whiskers stiffening, before shattering into cruel, prickling shards in the cold, dead moonlight. Only Rock remained. He stared blankly at Jay Feather, his bulging blind eyes as frosted as the moon pool. I just thought that fucking scene was so vivid and spooky.
Yeah, that vision's great.
Fucking banger.
And really highlights a lot of, I think, what we've been feeling about StarClan, which is that, like, they are on the back foot. They are weakening. You know, the cracks are forming here. Great scene. A lot of great visions in this book.
I think there was even so I did know that Flametail was going to drown in the ice at some point. I didn't realize it was this book. But I did at one point mark, like, I was like, hey, hang on a second. I know this bitch dies in the ice. And here he is having a vision of himself dying. That's fucked up.
That's fucked up, yeah. He gets a vision of his own death. But I think the thing that's so interesting about that is that, like, he interprets it as a vision about his clan.
Specifically his sister.
Yeah, well, in the moment, he thinks that it is his sister is going to drown because, that's what triggers it. But he sort of brings it, I feel like he conflates this vision of his own death with the vision of, with the idea of, like, darkness is coming and you have to stand alone and all of that. And I think that is so interesting that sort of, like, we as readers get a very clear death flag that he doesn't entirely understand.
Yeah. Let's see. A couple of other brief things. There is a mention of, for once, a spotted leaf mention that I'm not upset about, was the moment that Ivypaw and Hawkfrost are kind of getting a little sassy. And Thistleclaw is there, and he says, I used to have my own apprentice, but she didn't pass the final assessment. And I was like, oh, yes. Hey, I know what that means.
Yes, that moment really stuck out to me too. That was great.
So that was really fun.
A clever little reference there. Nod. Mm-hmm.
You have a moment about Millie you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's a moment near the beginning of this book where Millie is, like, a very, to use human terms, a very ableist kind of moment where she is voicing fears that she has about Briarlight, who was paralyzed during the tree falling in the last book. I thought this was really interesting because it was something that felt very real to the reaction that some parents have to their children being disabled. Which, like, I think she even says, like, something along the lines of, like, would it have been better for her to die than to be disabled? But, you know, in different words, but, like, giving that sentiment. And I also thought that there was a really interesting use of the setting here and like the concept of them being cats, in that Millie says something that implies that maybe if they had been with her housefolk instead of being wild cats, that Briarlight, that the housefolk could have fixed Briarlight, which, like, you know, putting aside the idea that disabled people need to be fixed, I think that the putting the contrast here of like a house cat does have access to modern medicine and technology that these warrior cats do not have. I think that's a really interesting perspective to give Millie here. And that's something that we can only get because Millie used to be a house cat.
I will say, I don't believe, I do not think we can fix a cat's broken spine. But I do believe she would be like,
but she could
give her one of those little cat wheelchairs.
Yeah, they can't build a wheelchair in ThunderClan, and they could build a wheelchair. Yet. They do know what props are, so we're halfway there. Man, if Jay Feather designed a fucking wheelchair, that would own.
I need this to happen. I need it. Fucking please.
Somebody write that fanfic where Jay Feather makes a wheelchair, please.
Incredible stuff. Hollyleaf. We get to see Hollyleaf's little gifts. That made me so excited.
I really am so glad that the reading order facilitated this in this way, that we sort of know, we have the knowledge from reading Hollyleaf's story of like, so we know these moments of what Hollyleaf was doing, like when she planted these things. And I think that's so fun because it was like fucking Where's Waldo? I was like, ah! Which I guess that implies that I get very excited about playing Where's Waldo, but sometimes you play Where's Waldo and it is exciting when you finally find Waldo. Yeah. Come on. I was really excited about that. I was like, Hollyleaf spotted.
Well, not Hollyleaf spotted, but not spotted.
Not directly. Yes, her favors.
That
spotted.
Was so cool. I was really happy about that.
It's great. I do want to give Mothwing a shout out here. She had a moment where she was arguing with Jay Feather and she was coming for StarClan's ass, and she was so right for that. She was,
and this was another Yellowfang L where she said Mothwing is an idiot and always will be. And I said, hey, I may not like the Mothwing storyline, but don't you fucking say that.
Yeah, come on. That was so out of pocket for Yellowfang.
Wild in this book.
For real.
And here I was earlier in our podcast complaining that, oh my gosh, can we just focus on Yellowfang instead of Spotted Leaf? Yellowfang needs to be the one talking to them. And now I'm like, get her ass back in the retirement home. Get her out of here.
Oh, careful what you wish for. The monkey's paw curls, etc., etc.
Ridiculous. And we can't have Cinderpelt because she's alive again. Fucking craziness.
I know.
But yeah.
Just get White Storm in here. It doesn't need to be a medicine cat.
White Storm would not stand for any of this.
White Storm would fix me. No, White Storm isn't in any of these scenes because he's like, I'm so fucking done with this shit. No, I'm not coming to your stupid meeting.
Let me go drink tea.
Just let me go hang out.
Yeah, the only other thing I have to talk about is our
the Flametail scene is really good. I think I'll bring up we already talked a lot about Ivy and Dove's whole relationship. I really, really love the scenes of Ivy Paw sort of becoming like, oh shit, I have realized that I fucked
up in a major way.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized I realized this is the bad place, guys. These two sisters their relationship has been very rocky over the last 3 books, and I think that they have like a really genuine and heartfelt and understanding sort of reconnection near the end of the book here, as Ivy Paw is like, you know, I realize now I'm wrong. I was stupid. I was being a stupid little idiot.
Like, I also was being stupid.
I was being a stupid little idiot too. I'm sorry. We were just stupid little idiots together. And then we get Ivy Paw getting clued into the prophecy. That scene, I think, I love how much Lion Blaze and Jay Feather come off as like real assholes in that scene, and Dovepaw has to swoop in and be like, guys, oh my God. Yeah. She's truly the voice of reason with them sometimes.
For real. I just have loved all of the Dovepaw, Ivypaw stuff this book. I think their fights were super good. Like, so realistic, like sibling rivalry kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
I loved their little spats in Tigerheart. And I liked that they kind of, made up at the end there.
Yeah, I think it's so nice when you can get sibling relationships like this where they do have fights, but like it does get resolved in a way that, like, of course they still love each other and like they're able to move past it. Like,
but the thing I appreciate too is like the fight was born out of the fact that they love each other so much.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really appreciated that. The Flametail scene was cool as hell. Seeing like the fact that Flametail could hear Rock as like talking to Jay Feather was wild, but the whole thing was the setup for this is that the cats in Shadow Clan are playing hockey.
They're playing hockey.
So I did just have a moment before the whole scene pops off where I'm just sitting there like, the cats are fucking playing ice hockey. Why not?
They really, like, they're passing the puck back and forth, dog. It's crazy.
So funny. We had the Cat Olympics. We got cat ice hockey. What is next?
What sport could they think of next?
Cat X Games.
Oh shit, he on X Games mode.
But I do think the Flametail scene was hard as hell. It was so good.
The way that it starts with like his sister coming to him and being like, "Hey, you've been really stressed. You need like to come and kick back with us. We're all having fun out on the ice. The lake is frozen. We're having fun. We're running around. Come out there, blow off some steam." And that ends with him dying. Like, that's brutal. And I think this is a really great Jay Feather moment.
Yes.
Of like Jay Feather trying so hard to, I mean, essentially to stop a prophecy, because this is a vision that Flametail had.
Well, and knowing how Jay Feather is so determined to like not let the medicine cats fall into whatever the fuck StarClan's issue is with being like so divisive.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Really like
that's such a good
gives
point.
it another layer of the fact that Jay Feather is like trying to go against what Rock is saying. Like, he's trying his best. My poor boy's trying his best.
And another layer on this is how much he hates water, how much fear he has about water.
Oh, God, that's so good. I love that we get it through Flametail's perspective and not Jay Feather's too, because then it really falls on the reader to remember like all of what Jay Feather's got going on, and I think it works really well.
Yeah, I really like that. There's a line, I can't remember the exact line, but Flametail has this thought that's like, no, it's okay, it's safe down here, it's warm. Like, as he's fading away. Brutal. Like, Jay Feather, it's okay. Stay down, don't worry. It's all right down here.
Yeah, he let his paws grow still, allowed the water to cradle him. Such quiet, such calm. And then Jay Feather jumps in and he says, "It's quiet here." He wanted to reassure his fellow medicine cat that everything was okay. Don't fight it.
Yeah.
Woof. Brutal book.
Brutal.
Guys.
Yeah.
Good one though.
I really like there's then a moment slightly after this where Ivypaw and Dovepaw like come back to, there's a great little moment where like they are out hunting and they hear like the screeching out on the lake and they think that it's just like everybody's having fun out there and getting rowdy, and we know that like a terrible event is happening. And then when they go back to camp and they see Jay Feather, and like, I love that we just get this moment of like, Dovepaw and Ivypaw don't know what the hell happened, but they see that Jay Feather is fucking soaked and that Leaf Pool is like flitting all around him and like being, very attentive to him and everything. And I think that's such a great, there's really a lot. Kate Carey is the author on this one, and I think that she really excels in this book with giving us the blank spaces to fill in like between events and fill in things that we are seeing from one perspective and like filling in with the other information that we have from the other perspectives that we've been getting. Just like some really good, strong storytelling.
I agree. Speaking of, do you want to go ahead and take us to the Erin
just
Corner?
A quick jaunt to the Erin Corner. Didn't find hardly anything this week, but that's okay, because we've been talking a lot. So I've got just two things. One is that a reader wrote in with the question, why did you name Flame Kit Flame Kit? I think probably fishing for like, is this Tawny Pelt like, thinking about Firestar or whatever, right? And Vicky Holmes is just like, because Flame is cool, isn't it? Flame sounds cool and it suits a cat with an orange pelt. Hell yeah,
Sure,
Vicky. Sure, yeah, go for it. And then I found a comment from Kate Carey about why Dovepaw likes Tigerheart so much. He is naturally everything she wishes she was, a loyal, kind-hearted, well-meaning warrior, wanting to do his best for his clan and trying really hard. And I just thought that was nice. Like, this kills me because it implies that Dovepaw does not see in herself that she is all of those things already.
Oof. Which, like, makes sense, especially given, like, the fact that she's literally, like, fighting with her sister about, like, is my sister doing the right thing? Oh, yeah. Man.
And am I doing the right thing? Like, it really does highlight that.
Dovepaw, they could never make me hate you.
But that was the only two things I had for Erin Corner this week. Just a real quick dip over into that corner, and now we can go to sharing tongues.
Yeah, I don't have much on this one either. Mostly because fucking the name Night Whispers got me fucking aesthetic blogs on Tumblr and ASMR on YouTube. It also got me when I looked up Night Whispers. It was either ASMR or Careless Whisper by George Michael, which banger song, not what I was looking for. So we've got 7 fics on AO3 for Night Whispers. 3 works with the tag Flametail Lives. There's another fic that I found that was like about like exploring maybe like some of Tawny Pelt's feelings about Rowing Claw being selected as the deputy instead of her. It is named the title is from a Crane Wives song, so I figure you would enjoy that.
Shout out to Crane Wives.
But I do think it's interesting because I feel like I have heard whisperings about like why maybe this may not be necessarily accurate, but I do think it would be interesting considering she and Rowan Claw are mates. So I have not read it yet. I just think it is an interesting thought because Tawny Pelt does make a lot of sense as deputy, all things considered. Briarlight has 129 fics. I know we didn't talk about her all that much, but I thought her scenes with Jay Feather were really good in this book. I thought like him kind of giving her some tough love when she's like trying to starve herself because she can't hunt for herself, and he's like, can Purdy hunt for himself? And she's like, well, no, but he's old. And he's like, do people bring Daisy food? Well, yeah, but she's helping the kids. And is like, you help me. Fucking eat your food.
It's good. Their friendship is so important to me.
Their friendship kind of growing in the way that it has.
I feel like there's a lot that Briarlight does to soften some of Jay Feather's sharpest edges.
I think, I agree. Flametail has 51 fics. Somebody's out here shipping Flametail, Jay Feather, and Kestrel Flight together as a polycule, and you know what? Slay.
Incredible.
72 fics for Dovepaw and Tigerheart. As a romantic couple, 14 for Ivypaw and Hawkfrost as a like platonic relationship, like their weird mentor apprentice relationship. And 68 for Cinderheart and Lionblaze.
Gamers, we gotta get one more in there to get the funny number.
Give me one more, and then no more Cinderheart Lion Blaze fics. I'm sorry if you have more ideas than that. We just gotta.
Then we can never write another one ever
unless
again.
one gets deleted, and then you can write one. I didn't find anything on Blue Sky, but I did just want to kind of give a little, not like an update, but just kind of a little, just sort of a taste of like how I'm usually the person posting on the social medias, and I know I'm not the best at it because my brain do forgore. But what I am trying to do with the Blue Sky app, because the tags work so well, and there is like a whole feed of warrior cats that I follow, is in addition to promoting the podcast, I am when I find some time, I hop on and kind of scroll through the tag and see if there's any like nice art of books that we've read so far. And I don't like the word reskeet. But whatever we're calling retweeting on Blue Sky is what I'm doing with all this art. So there's some really great art of the 3, Soul, of Hollyleaf, some Mapleshade. So yeah, just when I find some good art, I, plop it on the podcast page.
It's always as the one who's generally not running the socials, when I'm on social media and I see cool Warrior Cats art from that's being like reposted by my own podcast account, I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah.
So I am just kind of trying to, especially seeing like some smaller artists, just trying to boost some good stuff out there. So hopefully if you guys have a chance and you want to take a look, there's some really nice stuff out there. So that's just kind of an update on how I am approaching Blue Sky with the podcast account. That's pretty much it. Do we want to go to Warrior Cat of the Week?
I would love to go to Warrior Cat of the Week. Tell me about your pick.
My pick is Ivy Paw. I picked Ivy Paw because I just think that her, like, Tiger Heart was a very close second because I love that boy. But Ivy Paw was my top pick because I just think her internal conflict was so good. Like, all of her scenes in the Dark Forest are so interesting. And just like seeing the way that she is being manipulated by the Dark Forest, like, oh, it was so juicy from a narrative standpoint that I just couldn't help but like love every second of it.
It's tasty. They really walk the tightrope well with Ivy Paw of having her like continue to believe in the things that she's being manipulated into believing without making her seem like incredibly
an idiot,
dense for it. Yeah, like with when Lion Blaze was doing it in the last arc, it was a lot of like, are we for real right now?
But like, and I think I mentioned this before. It kind of shows like, even though Dovepaw's like, Tiger Star like murdered people, he was so far back that they kind of just, he's kind of just like a figure of legend at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you are separated from it, the sins can seem not as intense, you know? We see that in our world.
Sure do. I'd rather not think about that tonight. Who's your Warrior Cat of the Week?
Mine is your runner-up. Mine is Tiger Heart.
Yay!
I believe I picked Ivy Paw last episode, so I wanted to give Tiger Heart some. I think we might have swapped. I think last time you picked Tiger Heart and I picked Ivy Paw, so we've just swapped from last episode. Yeah. But Tiger Heart, just like delightful. Always love to see him. There's a scene at the very end here where we get him sort of swooping in to save the spirit of Flametail from being obliterated. That kills me.
Oh,
where he says, "I won't let you destroy what's left of my brother." Oh,
yeah, that hurt.
That shit hurt.
They just got done with his fucking vigil.
They did. He was literally at his brother's vigil, and like he went to sleep after his brother's vigil, entered the Dark Forest, and saw his brother's spirit about to get killed because Ivy Paw needs to not get destroyed by Broken Star.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's rough. And we're going to get, there's more interesting dynamics that go on with the consequences of that scene in the next book too that I'm excited about. So yeah,
stoked.
love you, Tigerheart. We love you, King. I'm thinking about upcoming seasons, more Tigerheart stuff we're going to get.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Whew. For now, though, should I take us out?
Yeah, why don't you take us out?
If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Blue Sky and Twitter a little bit, but more Blue Sky at Paws and Claws and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. We are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online, and a link to the TWG Game Jam will also be in the show notes this week. You can find me on Tumblr or Blue Sky at Humble Goat, and you can see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me primarily on Blue Sky at plot-twists, and occasionally on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss Omen of the Stars, Book 4, Sign of the Moon. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.